show of hands. Raise your hand if you have something printed on your t-shirt. Come on, get those hands up. Look, I have one too. Most of the time when you see a t-shirt that has any design printed on it, it's been silk screened. Let's silk screen a t-shirt. You can silk screen using cardboard and old curtain. I used an old curtain, but you can use any fabric that's thin enough for paint to go through. Here's the t-shirt that I'm going to print on. It's pirate black, but yours can be any color you like. Underneath, I'm putting some paper between the layers of the t-shirt. Sometimes the paint goes right through the first layer of the t-shirt, so this will protect it. It's important that it's flat though, or the design might not be quite right. I've made a rectangle out of masking tape so I know where to put my pirate design. We're almost ready to print. We need one more thing, a design. You can use any shape you want to make a picture. Cut them out of recycled magazines or construction paper. I made these out of wax paper. I've cut out a pirate face. So here's a big mouth with an arty tooth. And then here, this is the best part, a ruler and a paintbrush. We need to make the silk screen. We'll start with this frame. This is a cardboard frame that I covered in yellow duct tape. I covered it with the tape to make it stronger and waterproof. That way I can reuse it. The fabric needs to be taped onto the frame. The trick is to stretch it tightly over the frame. Remember, I used an old curtain, but you can use silk or any other thin fabric that lets paint squish through. You might want to get some help making your screen. You have to check to make sure when you put your screen down, you can still see all of the design. Once it's all lined up, tape the frame onto the table because you'll need both of your hands for silk screening and you don't want the frame to move around. Now for the paint. I'm going to take this paint bottle and drizzle it all over the top, along this line right here. I'm using craft paint. You can use any kind of permanent paint as long as it's not too thick or too runny. You want to use lots so you don't run out halfway through the design. I'm using so much that it's squeezing out of the sides here. That should do it. For this part, I need a squeegee, and that's a tool that drags the paint evenly across the design. And the cool part is you can use a ruler for this. I'm gonna put my ruler right behind the paint, and with both hands, drag it down. And the paint gets squished right through the little holes in the fabric. The white paint will stick to the parts of the t-shirt that aren't covered with wax paper, but it won't stick to the waxed paper. I'm gonna turn it around and drag it across to the other side. I want to make sure all the paint gets squished through evenly. I'll do a third pass. Now I can take the frame off the shirt. First, lift the duct tape from the table. You'll want to make sure you've wiped any paint off your hands first. Once all the tape has been peeled up, I can lift the frame up. And check it out. Wow, it looks great. But we're not quite finished yet. I just need to peel off the masking tape here. See how perfectly straight the line is? That's because of the masking tape. Your friends will never be able to tell the difference between a shirt you bought at the store or a shirt you made yourself. And when I'm finished, now that's Artzooka.